so weird that it's almost 2024. I wanted to do a little bit more of a personal video today. I wanted to look back at 2023. What exactly happened? Did I meet my goals? I don't even know. And then I kind of want to talk about goals for 2024. I did a Q&A on Instagram just the other day, and somebody was like, well, what are your plans? And I was like, have I not shared that? Because I love thinking about the future plans and I love coming up with ideas. I don't usually actually share them. And some people don't share because they're like, oh, I don't want to commit and I don't want people to think that, you know, I'm doing it until I'm sure. For me, I don't really care if plans change, you know, that's part of the fun of it. And so I'm happy to share, and I have tons of ideas. But let's start with 2023, because I think it's really good to do some reflection. I think it helps us see that we've come further than we think, because a lot of us, at least myself, almost every single year, I'll be like, what did I even do? Did I even do anything this year? And then in the past, I have vivid memories of talking to certain friends who are better at reflection and pointed out all the things that I did. And they're like, you did a lot. And it's just kind of blew my mind. So I think it'd be really good if you want to do that with me, feel free. But let's start with 2023. I've got my bullet journal. I am going to start by admitting to you that my goals did change over time. And so I usually need 2 bullet journals for the year. I get through 6, 7, or 8 months in one, and then I need the second one. So this is like the second half of the year. And I'm not a fancy bullet journaler, by the way. It's just like scribbles for the most part, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lists. But let's go back to the first page. So July through December goals. You ready for this? All right, this is going to be a little bit vulnerable. I'm going to share some things that I haven't really shared, I don't think, but first is publish The Secret Shadow. This guy right here. So there's 2 books in the series that are out. The third one, give me a second. There it is. Sorry, the lighting is terrible, but it's actually, I think, my favorite cover. It's hard to decide, but I love red covers. And that lines up well with this second goal here, which is put The Secret Curse, this one, on pre-order. Check. Did that. I ended up choosing January 26th. So if you want, the link is below. If you want to pre-order, it helps me out. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I set that up for, I think it was a 7-month pre-order at the time. So I was like, this will give me tons of time. And then I went on to like not work on the book. And so of course wasted a bunch of time, but it's on track. In fact, I think I'm still a little bit ahead of the game with this book. So that's exciting. It's also my favorite book so far, but that has nothing to do with the goals. I'm just excited about it. Anyway, next, create an omnibus cover and learn cover design in general. I got excited about cover design and I ended up literally making these 4 covers. So Stolen Kingdom, Ginny Key, The Cursed Hunter, and The Enchanted Crown. I made these, which is just wild to think about. But hold that thought. I have to be careful not to spoil it. I also did make my first omnibus test cover. I won't show you because I don't want to spoil the gorgeous artwork, but I had hired a character artist. And so originally I was just going to learn typography in Photoshop. But as you know, if you've watched some of my videos, I ended up making 4 other covers. And then I came back to this omnibus, which this is just a test run. I actually am now working on the actual case laminate, and then this design is going to actually go on the jacket, and it's got some updating to do. So I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna check that one because I did technically create the cover. Next, I had written to finally write Invisible Souls, just the rough draft, like the very first draft. I'd written like 3 or 4 beginnings, but never got to the end. I did that. And it's been a long time, actually. That was the first half of the year, so I don't even remember where it ended exactly, but I do think that I summarized a lot of the ending because I was just like, for some reason, I'm not feeling this book right now. Like, I know that it's meant for me. I know I want to publish it someday. Somebody had asked me on Instagram any updates on Invisible Souls. So this would be a good time to mention that I don't know what's gonna happen. And I kind of wrote out this long comment where I was like, I still believe that it's meant for me, that I'm supposed to write it, but I have like kind of a resistance to working on it versus other stories are just calling to me and I'm like, I know I want to do these. I'm super excited. So I feel like it's just not the right time yet. This was a very, very, very personal book. The story itself has nothing to do with my life, but it was inspired by some painful stuff and I just don't feel ready. So I'm thinking honestly that might be a 2025 book, but I still can check the box for my goals because all I said was write a rough draft and I did that. All right, next we have read 50 books. Let's check Goodreads. Are you guys friends with me on Goodreads? I will link it below if you want to be friends over there. I've actually been using it more. I always save my books at the top, and I really like that I can save the books I want to read so I don't forget, because honestly, I forget what the heck I want to read. It's crazy. So here is all the books that I've read. It looks like 63 books so far this year. And I have so many more that I want to read. It just makes me laugh because I do remember being like, what if I never read again? You know, now that I have a kid, and it is different for sure, finding time to read, but I almost read more now. And then also I was like, why have I read more this year in particular? Because I had Zion last year and I did read a lot, but not this much. And funny enough, I think it's actually to do with my attempt to have a nighttime routine that doesn't have TV in it as much, because like we could just watch TV until bedtime and that's not great for falling asleep, and I've been having issues with falling asleep. So my strategy was, well, I'll just start reading for an hour before bed and that'll be great and it'll work out perfectly. But of course I can't put books down, so instead I've been sleeping less and reading more because I will start a book legitimately thinking I can put it down, and then I will stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning until it's done. It's a problem. The lighting is still kind of weird here, but let's try this. Create nonfiction book cover. I wrote test because I was like, that's the only way I can check this box this year, because it's not something I quite know what I'm doing yet. Like, I have an understanding of the fiction covers that I showed you, but not a very solid understanding of what makes a good nonfiction cover. So I did make 2 or 3 like drafts, I guess you could call them. And then I was like, yeah, we're going to put this on hold because I am not ready. But again, I can check that box because I was very specific about it just had to be an attempt. It did not have to be a perfect attempt. Let's talk about nonfiction next, because publish nonfiction book. Yeah, and I wrote no in that box. I was at N-O. Did not happen, is not going to happen. And at the beginning of the year, I was like, I will totally work on the nonfiction. But it really comes down to, I don't have that much time. And where is my time going? And so I have become kind of ruthless with saying no. I also have been saying no to podcasts and saying no to YouTube collaborations and saying no to, can you help me with this? Or can you walk me through how to do it? Like, can you coach me? And I just can't. I don't have time anymore. So it's not just like other people, it's also my projects that I've been saying no to. I looked at nonfiction and I was like, no, not this year. It's not happening this year. I have other things I want to do more. Now, that said, I realize that this is kind of like a not smart business decision, because my nonfiction books do even better than my fiction because of my YouTube channel. Fiction books, like, that's a whole different crowd. And a lot of you who watch me don't even read my genre. And that's fine. I'm not saying that you have to by any means. But what I am saying is that I realized this nonfiction book would do really well. And so back in, I think it was 2020, when I started working with Writing Mastery Academy, and we made this course, How to Self-Publish. We worked together. I recorded it all before Zion was born. So I think it was actually 2021. We started in 2020. We finished in 2021. I think you guys got to see it starting in 2022. And we had talked, and I was like, hey, I want to also turn this into a book. And they were like, cool. So that was like part of our contract, is that I have the rights to the book and putting this information together. And I literally have 50,000 plus words in a first draft, technically more like a second or third draft. Actually, it's been edited, but it needs a lot more editing, a lot more organization. I just haven't read it in a long time. Anyway, I just don't have any motivation to do that, which is terrible, because once again, you guys would love that, and I know that would be really valuable to people. That said, the course goes on sale a lot. So very often it's not $99, it's more like $10 or $15, which is basically the cost of a book anyway. So I think maybe that has been part of lowering my motivation, because it's like, well, the book isn't like a deal that's like extra helpful. There are a lot of people like me who probably would prefer it to be in writing, who would probably prefer to have like that handbook that you can open and refer to a specific page whenever you're like, what do I do here again? I know it would be a good resource. Let me know if I should prioritize that in 2024, because I try to keep my goals a little bit flexible, and if I have a lot of interest, then I might pursue that more. We'll talk about that when we get to 2024. Let's keep going. Recover the Stolen Kingdom series. Check. Yes, I did have that on the list after all, but again, that would have been something that I added the second half of the year. That was not originally my plan the first half of the year, but I'm the type of person who I will add something to my goals list just so I can check it off. Are you that way? Let me know. Moving on, we have YouTube, and I have a good, better, and best goal. So 50K, 60K, or 70K. right? I put 60K, yay, 70K, whoa. I'm actually super excited to show you this. 48,255. So I think we're gonna be just right before 50,000 and hit that in January sometime. You know, honestly, I'm the type of person who I will count that as a win. I'm gonna count it. But if we happen to get there, if you guys happen to wanna share this channel, that would be cool too. We'll see what happens. I also had an Instagram goal and with another good, better, best. So I hit 14K like middle of the year. It just reached 14.9 today. So maybe in another month we could hit 15K. That would be cool because like those good, better, best goals, I really only thought I would hit the like good goal. I didn't really honestly think I'd get further. I just said that because I was like, why not? Let's reach for the sky. So that's exciting. Weight loss, here's where we're getting vulnerable. Sorry for all the scribbles, I think with Zion, but the weight loss here, good, better, best goal, because once again, I was like, let's shoot for what I really want, but let's have goals before that so I can still celebrate and be proud and move forward if it takes longer than expected, which of course it has. But part of that is because I'm not trying that hard. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I could be doing a lot better. I love my sugar. Okay. We're going to talk about that more for 2024, but I think that I need more self-control because honestly, I can tell I feel so much worse when I have a lot of sugar. My whole body, I get these horrible headaches. I have trouble sleeping. So this is not just for weight loss. This is for health and I need to get better. And I actually have other reasons for that, which I will just show you right now. Baby number 2. Never thought I'd be somebody who put having a baby as one of my goals. It's just, it wasn't something that I thought about. But honestly, I wish I'd had Zion sooner. It was so scary to me to think about this stage of life, but I love it. It's brought so much joy. It's brought so much excitement. And so even though baby number 2 is also terrifying because 2 is obviously more work than 1 and it's going to change things for my business. That said, I'm like, this is amazing. I love it. I love every minute of being a mom. Not every minute, that's a lie. I love the minutes when I'm not exhausted. And he's just the best. He's my little built-in bestie. And I just love hanging out with him and I can't wait to see him grow up. And you know what? This is where we're going to get vulnerable because it doesn't bother me to say this as long as I don't have to talk about it more beyond this point. So feel free to comment, but I probably won't answer comments about this because I don't actually like talking about it. But I did have a miscarriage early on in the year. So in April, I had a miscarriage and then we have not gotten pregnant since. It's just not happened. And so part of that is because I think of PCOS. If you know what that is, they call it like diabetes for the ovaries. And so it's just that the hormones in your body are very off track. And so I kind of figured this out and I talked about it a little bit last year. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to like talk about it till I have some things figured out. And I'm still not an expert, so don't quote me, but I have some goals for 2024 that we'll talk about as well, where I want to try to get this under control because it does make it harder to have kids if you have this. Not impossible though, as Zion is proof. Speaking of Zion, my next one is to get help with him because I just knew I needed help. Like I love being a mom, but I am very much an introvert, like of the highest introvert, and I need that time to myself. Like I need a bubble and I need to be in it by myself. Alone. I have tried all kinds of things. Then I asked my mom if she was able to help. And that has been what we've been doing ever since. Right now we've gone down to once a week. And on top of that, my husband's business is seasonal, which is really nice because he was like basically gone from sun up to sundown all summer, you know, spring and fall. But then now in the winter, he is only working a few hours a day and he can be home a lot more. And so he is able to give me that time that I need. I don't have it all figured out, but I am getting help. And I feel like it's probably going to be like this. It's going to be kind of seasonal. It's going to go in waves. I'll get a little bit more help and a little bit less. And that's one thing that I am so thankful I checked that box because it was really hard for me to let go. And I think that's a first time mom thing to be like, I can't step away from him. I need to be there for him and I have a hard time leaving. I didn't think I would have that. And then here I was like absolutely like tied to him by a string and we were connected and I'm like, I can't leave him. But it's gotten easier, and especially when it's with somebody that I trust, it's amazing. I needed it so desperately. Check that box. Sorry for rambling, but let me know if you'd like more on that. I'd love to do a whole video on how things have gone with Zion and writing and still being creative while being a full-time mom, because that's a whole video by itself. I have get plugged into a church here. I am actually super thankful for our church, especially lately. I've been feeling like this is where we're meant to be. Zion loves it. This is where we're meant to be. And the coolest part about it is, like, tell me if you know a church like this, but I feel like I've never seen a church with so many creatives in it that he talks about authors. He talks about having a publishing company someday. He talks about having a production for film company someday. I just get goosebumps because I'm like, this is where I'm meant to be. This is literally a church designed for people like me. And so if you want to check it out, I will definitely link it below because it's online and it's amazing. I highly recommend it. I really, really enjoy the sermons. It's just an amazing church. Unfortunately, this next one is edit the nonfiction book fully. And that I wrote a big N-O as well. We already talked about the nonfiction. This one right here, $50,000 or more in income. I have not looked. Okay, I have done my taxes and income stuff through October. I'm so close. I don't know though. I don't know if we're gonna make it because this year I definitely slowed down a lot. And so I'm actually surprised with what some of these months are. I think that's impressive, especially because I have only done one release this year. We will see. Let me know if you want a video on that because we could definitely talk more about that. That one I have left open because when I'm recording this, it's actually still mid-November. I'm recording this early. I can do a video on that if you want. Then we have edit the secret curse fully. I don't know exactly what I meant by fully. I think just get all the way through. I actually just finished doing that, and so by the time you see this, pretty sure the book will be done. In fact, even though this one is still open, I'm pretty sure I will have finalized the secret curse by the time you see this video as well, because that's my goal to do that in the next few weeks here. No, never mind. I think I'll still be working on it a little bit after this video comes out, but roughly around the end of the year, I will be wrapping up the secret curse. So I think I will be able to check that box before the end of the year as well. And then last but not least, I'll have my first free sale here for the secret gift. That's this book right here. It will be free for the very first time ever. And it's kind of exciting because I think the timing on this video might even work out to when the book is on sale. Let's find out. I'm gonna have to see how fast I can get this video out for you. The sale is going to last this long. I'll put the dates on the screen here, but if you miss it, don't worry. I usually try to run a sale once a year, so there will be another sale at some point in the future, hopefully. But that's my 2023 goals wrap up. And I actually did a lot more than I thought, so that's kind of cool. I think it's because I'm starting to be more realistic about what I can actually do, and I'm putting things like just start, get a start done, and not perfect this. Okay, I think we're running out of time before my little guy is gonna wake up. So let's go over 2024 really quick. I want to lump together all my books, but I want to prioritize them. So let's start with the books. I have my butter book that we've talked about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch this playlist. I'll link it below. The omnibus that I mentioned, the nonfiction book that I mentioned. There's also Invisible Souls, which we talked about. I didn't write it on here, but technically, oh no, right there, future Stolen Kingdom series books, like another book or two or three, who knows, in the Stolen Kingdom world. Is it another series? Is it a standalone? I have this idea for a standalone that I want to call it Gideon's book, but technically it would be Hannah's book, and then there would also be a lot of Jedekiah. So those three characters, but I think would technically be Hannah's book, if you know who I'm talking about. Oh, and technically The Secret Curse is a January release, so that's actually a January goal too. So if we were going to prioritize those, obviously The Secret Curse, the omnibus is going to be the next priority. I probably should prioritize nonfiction. Again, let me know, because if I hear from a lot of you, I can definitely up that higher on the list. But then I think I really want to write the butter book too, and maybe vlog that and make that a priority as soon as I have a chance. But I guess my first goal outside of the books themselves would be that I want to go slower. I want to take it easier. I want to start holding things back. And that kind of goes hand in hand with my other goal. I'll just put it on here, is the baby goal, baby number 2. I kind of already hinted at this. I don't think I can go at the same pace once there are 2. Obviously, whenever we do get pregnant, I have 9 months to figure it out. And maybe it'll take another 9 months to get pregnant. Maybe it'll take 2 more years. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work. I'm trying not to put any pressure, so please don't pressure me in the comments because I get enough of that from other places. But I want it to be sooner rather than later. And if that's the case, then I actually want to start prepping a lot of books that I can then publish throughout that season where I'm not actually writing, but it seems like I'm still being prolific because I've been holding things back. So like, for example, I have the Invisible Souls book. That's a rough draft. I can write the Butter book rough draft. I could write more rough drafts. And then I could have all these books that are like drafted. Maybe some of them are edited. And all I have to do, oh, he just woke up. All I have to do is do a little bit more editing. And then I can set a release date and be like, hey, this book is pretty much done. So like, I won't have the same pressure that I've been putting on myself where it's like, what if I don't get it done? What if I don't have time? I will start, I hope to start a new approach to publishing, which it won't help me grow as fast, but it will be better for my mental health and better for my mom season of going slower and being okay with that and enjoying it. The sun is absolutely crazy right now. This lighting is something else. We're just gonna keep going because I need to go get him in a second. So that's all the books and the baby, going slower. YouTube, I could put a crazy goal of like 100K. That would be a wild goal because I've been on YouTube since 2009, believe it or not. It was a music channel at first. I think I had all of 300 subscribers in 2017 when I switched over to Authortube. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and I just am about to hit 50K. So to then hit another 50K in a year seems like a kind of ridiculous goal, but I love ridiculous goals. It doesn't bother me if I don't make them. I like setting the ones that are like out of reach because then I try so much harder. You know what I mean? But again, that other goal that we just talked about of slowing down and holding things back doesn't just apply to books. It probably needs to apply to YouTube and just other things in life as well. In fact, I think I need to continue with my goal of it being a no season and a time where I'm not committing to hardly anything, where I'm like, this is only going to go on my plate if I have to do this feeling. I have to do this. I get that feeling usually for books, but sometimes for YouTube too. And so I have so many ideas. I've taken a little YouTube break, as you know, and I have so many ideas and I want to come back and I'm really excited about it. So let me go get him. I think my husband's home and he can watch him and then we'll wrap up. Okay, my husband's gonna watch Zion. Let's finish up because I've got a few more goals, both writing related / business and just life goals that I thought I'd share with you in case it's encouraging, in case it gives you some ideas, or just for fun. So the next one is direct sales on my website. I don't know if I should make this as a goal. This is one of those that might just completely fall off next year if I'm like, this is not for me. But I've been seeing a lot of authors talk about this, and in the Inkers Con 2023, a lot of authors were actually really talking about this. There was some lectures on it, and I was just like, this is interesting. I wonder if I can figure it out. I don't know. And this would be more specifically, I'm talking about like ebooks. So like I don't do anything, I just sell direct. That's what direct sales mean. It's like, well, I think it also includes physical books, but I'm thinking specifically of ebooks. But that is connected to my other goal, which is to do a signed sale again, possibly in January. I don't think I did one at all in 2023. And I try to do like one a year and they're really, really fun. I usually open it up for a week and I have all these new covers and then the Secret Curse is coming out. So I was like, well, maybe I could do a sale for the Secret Curse, but I always get kind of hesitant doing it around release because then I'm like, well, what if it hurts the sales of the books that you guys would have bought over on Amazon and it hurts my ranking and then the book doesn't do well and it's like, you know, I'm kind of on the fence. So it might not be January, but I do want to do a signed sale at some point in 2024, so I'm putting that on my list. I also want to prioritize reading because it helped me so much this year because I actually legitimately saw my writing improve. I would read some amazing books and then I'd be like, wow, I'm writing better dialogue. I'm writing more dialogue, doing less narration. Like my weaknesses are getting better. I'm finding the stories get more interesting. I'm putting in more butter, as we have talked about on this channel. So yeah, I think prioritizing reading is actually going to be both good for mental health and also for my business and for my writing. Speaking of kind of health goals though, my next goal is kind of a broad goal and I probably should make it more specific. It's kind of a bunch of more specific goals all lumped under one umbrella of prioritizing my health. And I think what I'm going to do just to make it like more specific is to prioritize my health daily. But I actually have 4 ways that I want to do this. I was trying to walk daily, so I still want to carry that over. It's going to be really hard in the winter. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I might have to join a gym, which I haven't done for a few years, just to get out the house. They have a daycare there, and do my walking there because I think walking is a really, really smart way to lose weight with PCOS. But then also weightlifting, which is something I am not good at. Don't look to me as your weightlifting expert by any means, but I have been reading up on it a lot and it seems like weight loss is actually strategically a lot better if you do weightlifting than cardio. Not to say cardio is bad, but for PCOS in particular, it can amp up cortisol, which is something I really struggle with. And again, that's connected to my other goal, my other two goals actually in this category of reducing sugar and sleeping more. And so sleeping more is actually an issue too with my cortisol. It's all out of whack. I've had tests done. And so getting that back on the track, one of the ways you can actually get healthier and lose weight as a byproduct and just feel better is to sleep more. So I'm actually going to make that a huge priority. And part of that is going to bed. I don't have any excuses. Zion is a great sleeper for the most part. I could be sleeping 10 hours if I wanted to, if I went to bed when I should be going to bed. But I am a night owl. Again, it's part of this cortisol issue, and I just hate going to bed. There's something called, what's it called? Revenge bedtime procrastination. It's a real thing. Look it up. People make fun of me when I say this, but it is this gut feeling of I haven't been the owner of my time during the day, so I am going to try to cram everything that I wanted to do that I would have done on my own into a couple hours at night. It's not good. It's not good. So I'm going to work on that. And then reducing sugar is literally going to be a game changer for me. I just have to get the self-control to do it. I can tell it's going to make me feel so much better. It's going to make my sleep so much better. Automatically weight loss is going to get better. I just really, really struggle with giving up sugar. So I'm going to tell you, please hold me accountable. Please ask me about it. My church does a 21-day fast in January. Maybe I will try to do a 21-day fast from chocolate and sugar. The trick with that, and I've always had this problem as my excuse, is that my birthday is January 14th. So I always want to have that day, and then that kind of ruins it. Anyway, that is kind of the big picture health goal. And I think I'm going to separate those specifics into really strong goals that I can track and that are measurable so that I can stay on track with that. But that's kind of the big picture. And then I put maybe more audiobooks. I don't know. Audiobooks are expensive, but I could see myself doing maybe like an omnibus of the Queen's Rise series. So now that all 3 books are done, I could hire a narrator to just do one big all-encompassing 1, 2, 3 books. My critique partner, Brittany Wang, did this, and then she was able to separate the massive book into sections and upload those as audiobooks as well. So I could then technically have 4 audiobooks in one. But that said, that could be a project that might be really great for when I do have 2 kids, because listening to stuff is a lot easier. The book's already written, and it's just a matter of like hiring somebody and putting in the time to listen to the book and make sure it's good. That might be more of a 2025 thing. We will see. I also put designing more covers, and that's very broad. Again, I'm looking at this very broadly. I do want to design the nonfiction cover. Right? I think it'd be really fun to design, I guess, what would I call them? Mock-ups, drafts, rough drafts, just covers to look at as inspiration for like the Butter Book and Invisible Souls, maybe even for that Gideon/Hannah story. And it would just help me to practice my cover design and not forget, because I went in to start working on cover design again now, and I've forgotten like everything that I did on the Stolen Kingdom covers. I'm like, what did I use? How did I even design these? Like, I don't remember. Maybe to not lose my skill, I should keep up and practice and just design covers for fun, and it'll be inspiring. I think those are all the specifics. And then the last one is that I want to do what I enjoy more, because there's just not enough time for the extra stuff. And I know I already kind of talked about that, like the no season, but I really want to be aware of if I'm putting time into things that feel like a waste of time. I just want to let it go. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but if it means like not doing how-to videos anymore and just going to vlogs, it might be that. Or it might be not doing really in-depth research how-to videos, but doing more like, here's my experience, because then I don't have to spend hours researching, and I can not feel like I have to do an all-encompassing, super comprehensive 45-minute video. I can just be like, here's my 10-minute story, you know? That's just one example. It also applies to books. Like, if I'm not feeling like Invisible Souls is the right one, if I'm not feeling like the nonfiction book is the right one to work on, and I want to work on the Butter Book, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to really prioritize where I put my time. And like I said, to really hold back and start preparing, almost like a bear storing up for winter, as weird as that sounds, where they're like, they know that hibernation's coming, so they're gathering up a lot of food. They're not just like eating everything as it comes in. They're like storing things up. That's kind of how I want to approach writing videos. I don't know exactly what that'll look like, but so that I can continue as I enter a new season. I really hope to enter a new season as a mom. I know Zion's gonna be needing different types of care as well. He's gonna sleep less and need more time with me, and I wanna like help teach him. He is so incredibly smart, you guys. He's not even 2 yet when I'm recording this, and he can count to 10. He can say all his colors. He knows like hundreds of words at this point. He is super chatty. If that wasn't clear, he is a big priority. I didn't even say that, but he is a big priority as well. This was a little scattered at the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your goals are. I'd be very curious to hear how your 2023 went and what you're excited about for 2024. I'm trying to think of a word for the year because people like to do that. Just want to be intentional. I think intentional is going to be my word. On that note, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.